Okay, so here is my last Q&A of the week, the third one. So I have fulfilled what I said I was going to do, fulfilled my promise. Let's go right into it. First question comes from Ebro S or Ebro S. What was your reaction when they announced the death of Owen Hart? Shocked. I remember watching on pay-per-view and it cut to black, and then JR made that famous call announcing it. Yeah, it was shock. It was crazy. I didn't never seen anything like it. I don't know what, I was 8 or 9. I forgot, 8 or 9. But yeah, it was shocking. And the Raw the night after was Roy's Owen. It was just something I'll never forget. It was crazy shit. Yeah, definitely a memory I'll never forget, that night and the night after and watching it as a kid. Thanks for the question. Next is from Multimedia Assassin. Do you think there's a difference between General PG and Vince McMahon style of PG? I've answered this question before. Maybe not answered the question, but talked about it. I mean, Vince's PG is gearing more towards G, whereas General PG, you're allowed to push boundaries, you're allowed to have edgy material. But Vince's idea of PG is a lot different. Like, look at SmackDown was always PG, yet the years of SmackDown and the Attitude Era, it was edgy, it was controversial, it was racy, and that's PG. But this is a different style of PG that he's doing. Even so, I always say PG isn't bad. PG is just a rating. 80s was PG. Everything up to the Attitude Era was PG, and you still got great shit. It's just that they choose to veer towards G mostly. That's the problem. Next question. If there were a Montreal Screwjob type situation where John Cena and Vince screw over another popular wrestler, do you think the wrestling fans should finally break all hell and start a massive riot like they've been threatening to do for the longest? I think that would easily do it. I mean, if that got everybody crazy when it happened with Brett and Vince and Shawn, I'm pretty sure that if it did with John Cena and Vince McMahon screwing over somebody else, legit, it would send everybody fucking haywire. So something of that magnitude would definitely cause chaos and cause rioting and cause a backlash, but I don't think that would happen. And the last question from Multimedia Assassin, did you check out Pacific Rim? Actually, I haven't. In California, I went to a drive-in movie theater where they gave you two movies for the price of one. 2 movies for $9 fucking dollars. Here in New York, you get one movie for like $20. Over there at the drive-in, it was 2 new releases for $9. The first was The Conjuring, which is the movie I wanted to see, and I was too tired after that. I didn't stay for Pacific Rim. So I could have seen it, but I didn't. I mean, I'll eventually check it out, though. Thanks for those questions. Next is from The Wrestling Crisis. Are you a DC or a Marvel guy? Well, my comic book knowledge is not that extensive, to be honest with you. I'm not really a comic book guy. I've read hardly any comic books. But, I just like some of the... I like the ideas of superheroes and villains and all that. And I like their stories. But I never really read a bunch of comics to know. But, I mean, my 2 favorite superheroes, Batman and Superman, are from DC, so I guess I'll pick DC. And from Ariba Seal. Now, he has a best ever with a whole bunch of categories, so I'm just going to name best ever for these things without going into an explanation, because there's like 15 of these. Technician wrestler, Bret Hart. High flyer, old school Rey Mysterio before his knees were shot to shit. Smash Mouth wrestler, I'll give that to Brock Lesnar. Brawler, I'll give that to Austin. The guy who really looks like he was having a legit fight. Talker, I'll give that to The Rock. Trash talker, I'll give that to The Rock also. At connecting with the crowds, nothing like Hulkamania. Heel, I'll give that to Mr. McMahon. Face, I'll give that to Hogan. Tweener, I'm going to give that one to Austin. The most biggest and best ever, this is for wrestlers also, the most entertaining. I'll give that to The Rock. The biggest star ever, gotta give that to Hogan, no doubt about it. The most hated face, John Cena, definitely. The most loved heel, NWO as a faction. and last the longest as far as storylines go without getting too boring. I'll give that to The Undertaker. He had a good run from like the mid-90s to the late 90s, even at the beginning of the biker era where he never got boring. He was always involved in pretty exciting, big-time storylines, yet he didn't hog the spotlight where you got sick of him. So yeah, there's that. Next question comes from IV Unleashed or 4 Unleashed. I still don't know which one it is. Undertaker as a monster or as Big Evil. Now, if monster you mean the Dead Man, I would have to say the Dead Man. Because, I mean, I don't know any other monster you would mean. But Dead Man, you know, is the classic Undertaker over Big Evil. Next question is from Omar Hossam. Who is better, Paul Heyman, Eric Bischoff, or Vince McMahon? Now, I don't know in what context you're talking about. If you mean as a character, you know, I would say McMahon. If you mean as a general manager, I would say Eric Bischoff. If you mean as a businessman, easily Vince McMahon. If you mean as a creative person who, you know, has the best knowledge for wrestling, I would say Paul Heyman. So I'm not sure in which context you mean that. Next question is from Chris is Ballin' 123. What do you think about Shaun of the Dead? I haven't even seen it, to be honest with you. I actually want to see it. I'll eventually get around to it, but yeah, I haven't seen it yet. And the last question, this was a quick Q&A. Last question is from Biggs Binny, like Bugs Bunny but with eyes. WrestleMania 30 will most likely be the point where wrestling fans leave or stay for good. What can the WWE do now to make WrestleMania 30 an awesome event? Have in store epic matches. You know, if they ever wanted a time to do Stone Cold versus CM Punk, might start thinking about that. You know, make Undertaker versus John Cena. Have Undertaker finally, you know, beat this guy at WrestleMania. You know, already have this match. You know, turn John Cena into he doesn't necessarily have to be a heel, but somebody with a different values, different morals, you know. Because if he's going against Undertaker, he can't just be this, you know, because Undertaker's a face already. You know, just make some tweaks to the John Cena character. Maybe Brock Lesnar versus The Rock. I mean, those 3 matches would be fucking huge. What else? You would have to, by WrestleMania 30, you will have to prove Vince and Co. that the new guys are being pushed and that they're being utilized. The Wyatt families, the Shields, the Daniel Bryans, the Dolph Zigglers, the Damien Sandows. By this time, Damien Sandow should probably be champion. Start the movement from the old guard to the new guard. You know, stop worrying about only catering towards kids and catering towards your advertisers and your sponsors. Give something to the wrestling fans. Start investing in your own show rather than all the stupid outside business bullshit. You know, there you go. Just make a good wrestling show. Show that you care about your fans who watched you for your wrestling for so many years. Give them what they want. Give them an epic WrestleMania because you know you failed at WrestleMania 29. Give us a epic WrestleMania 30, and I'm sure you'll have people staying, you know, renewing their contract of being WWE fans. So there you go. That's maybe my shortest Q&A ever. But yeah, short and sweet. So did that. Q&As will now resume on the regular schedule of every Wednesday. So there you go. Bunch of Q&As all in one fucking shot. As always, leave the questions on this video that you got from me or inbox me some questions. I am Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, or I'll see you later.